Hello and welcome to my analysis for the 2024 Belmont Stakes at Saratoga. While I do respect the favorite Sierra Leone, and I also respect Mystic Dan, who won the Kentucky Derby and ran second in the Preakness, I also think the race is open to other horses that can win. So let's talk about who's live in the Belmont Stakes. Let's get going and start off with Sierra Leone. I have no real problems with Sierra Leone's form. He's won 3 times and finished second twice. Most recently, he finished second in the Kentucky Derby, and that came after bumping around with the Japanese invader Forever Young in the stretch run. However, Sierra Leone also benefited from the pace in the Kentucky Derby. I realize some people don't think the pace was fast in the Kentucky Derby, but to me it was fast. 22 and change for the opening quarter, 46.63 for the half mile. By Kentucky Derby standards, that might not be blazing fast, but for a 10-furlong race at Churchill Downs, those are some fast numbers. Let's take a look at the race. We catch the Kentucky Derby field on the far turn. Sierra Leone is starting to move through horses. He's somewhere towards the back end of the middle, and he's going to swoop out right here. You see the saddlecloth is in white, and his jockey is wearing black silks. He has no real traffic problems. He's just going to tip out, and he's going to be in the clear right now. And you can see him on the farthest outside, and he's right outside Forever Young. And now he's going to have some problems. He's going to start bumping around with Forever Young. But again, the fractions were on the fast side. 46 for the half mile is fast for a 10-furlong race. And he's going to come. Mystic Dan did a lot of running to get to that point where he separated from the field. And I feel that Forever Young and Sierra Leone, even though they were bumping with each other, they sort of took advantage of that. I'm not saying that Sierra Leone did not run well in the Kentucky Derby. He only lost by nose, so he did run well. I'm just saying that he benefited from the pace, and he got into no real traffic problems until he started bumping around with Forever Young in the stretch run. Sierra Leone will be heavily bet in the Belmont Stakes, and I don't think he's some kind of monster. I think if he is better than these horses, he isn't better by that much, and there is an argument that Mystic Dan is at least equal or better to Sierra Leone. Let's focus on Mystic Dan and his trip in the Kentucky Derby. As we see in the replay, he's right behind the leaders. He's right behind Track Phantom. Just Deal is there, Fierceness is there, and Mystic Dan is going to slip through the inside. And I know that's beneficial to save ground on the far turn and slip through the inside. But he also was up close to the pace, as I said. And none of the other speed horses lasted. Track Phantom is going to fade out of the picture. Fierceness, who was the heavy favorite, well, not the heavy favorite, but he's going to fade out of the picture. Stronghold and Resilience are going to last a little longer, but they're going to get tired as well. Mystic Dan is opening up on the field right here, and to do that after sticking close to the pace is hard to do, so he does have to run hard. It wasn't an easy trip. It wasn't completely an easy trip for Mystic Dan. Yes, he did save ground on the rail, but the fact that he stuck close to the pace and he tried to open up in the stretch run was hard to do, and I was impressed by Mystic Dan's run. Is Mystic Dan going to be a fair price in the Belmont Stakes? It's hard to say. He's 5-1 on the morning line, and actually that sounds fair, considering he won the Kentucky Derby and he was second in the Preakness Stakes. I don't know if Mystic Dan will be bet down to 4-1 or 3-1. 5-1 does seem like a fair price. Is he going to be too tired after running in the Kentucky Derby and Preakness? I would think so, but I will also think that it's a good sign that McPeak wants to run in the Belmont Stakes, because he already lost a Preakness, so why would he run this horse in the Belmont unless the horse was doing well? There's no chance of getting the Triple Crown anymore. Let's talk about the 2 long shots that I like. Even though Seize the Grave won the Preakness Stakes, he goes into the Belmont as a bit of an underdog because most people will see the Preakness win as a fluke. But he also won the Pathé Mile before the Preakness, so his form was on the upswing. And what I like about his Pathé Mile win was that he was up close to a fast pace. They went in 22-12, 44-59, 109-48, and he won by 1 1/4 lengths. Now let's take a look at his Preakness run. As I said, Seize the Grave took the lead in the Preakness Stakes and he never gave it up. And I don't think those fractions were slow either. He went in 47 and change for the half mile, 111.95 for 6 furlongs. And here he is on the far turn. Imagination, Mystic Dan, and Just Deal are coming. But Seize the Grave is going to maintain his lead. And Mystic Dan is trying to come in right now, but Seize the Grave is going to keep him at bay. Imagination will fade out of the picture. Just Deal will fade out of the picture, and he's also injured, sadly. In any case, Seize the Grave is continuing on. He's maintaining his 2-length margin Mystic Dad is just spinning his wheels in second. Catching Freedom is coming in third, but he's just gonna barely miss out on second. Seize the Gray is gonna win by 2 1/4 lengths. As I said in my Preakness review, I'm not the biggest fan of Dwayne Lucas. However, he has a good horse here. He's in sharp form, and he's 8-1 on the morning line, even though he won the Preakness Stakes. He could get the lead again in this spot. Who's gonna press him? Dornoch could press him. Mindframe could press him. Both of those horses could be on the lead too. The thing is, Seize the Great doesn't need the lead. We saw him stalk the pace in the Pathé Mile. He was a length or two off the pace in the early stages of that race, and he still made his move just fine. I don't think he needs to lead. And the fact that he's 8-1 on the morning line is attractive. I think that Seize the Great could duplicate or even improve off his 100-mile speed figure in the Preakness. He's my top choice in this race. Now, if they were similar odds, if 8-1 wasn't the case and Seize the Great was like 3-1 or 4-1, then no, I wouldn't pick him. But the fact that he's higher odds than Mystic Dad and Sierra Leone, even though he won the Preakness Stakes over Mystic Dad, makes him an attractive horse. The last horse I want to talk about is Dornoch. Dornoch isn't the most popular horse among handicappers, but that's a good thing for value. He's 15-1 on morning line, and there's a chance he stays around those odds. Dornoch had some disappointing efforts in the Bluegrass Stakes and the Kentucky Derby, and even his Fountain of Youth return win was criticized because he only won by a length of 3/4 over a weak field, and that's fair. However, it was his first start off the layoff, and we know that he wasn't being pointed towards the Fountain of Youth. There was no reason for him to run his best race when the Kentucky Derby was on the horizon. And the Bluegrass Stakes, he was trying to be a stalker, and it didn't work out. He was 4th for most of the race. He lost by 6.5 lengths. It wasn't the worst effort. In the Kentucky Derby, he had a very bad trip from the rail. Let's take a look at Dornoch's Kentucky Derby trip. We catch the Derby field this time at the start. Dornoch is on the inside, and we see that Mystic Dad is going to cross over him already. And Dornoch is searching for room, and he's in tight against the rail. He may have brushed the rail, actually. And he's just swallowed up by the field. Look at Dornoch with the jockey in pink silks. He's being swallowed up by the field. Even if he wanted to show speed now, there's no chance because there's not a lot of room down there. We're going to see on the far turn, Dornoch is going to try to move forward, but he's not going to get a chance to. And now he's going to try to move forward, and we see him moving forward right now on the inside, see the pink silks, and he gets behind the wall again. He has nowhere to run, and he gets bounced around a little right there. By this time, he's tired, and there's no reason to expect him to move forward at this point because he's had a bad trip the entire race. Is Dornoch good enough to win the Belmont Stakes? I'm not sure, but I think he's better than what he showed in the Bluegrass Stakes, and I think he's better than what he showed in the Kentucky Derby. He's my other long shot in this race. I don't think I can single a horse in the Belmont Stakes. What I'm going to do is use Seize the Great and Dornoch, probably in a special double. If it's the Acorn Belmont double, then I'm going to use Torpedo Anna, and I'm going to key her, and then use Seize the Great and Dornoch in leg 2. And if it's the Met Mile double, I'll probably use National Treasure and key him, and use Seize the Great and Dornoch as leg 2. I don't think Mystic Dad and Sierra Leone are bad horses at all. I respect them greatly, but in terms of value, I'm not sure if either of them offer value. Maybe Mystic Dad, because he's 5-1 on the morning line, but I think he's going to go down a little. Seize the Great's 8-1 on the morning line. Dornoch is 15-1. I'm going to try to get an upset in this race, and maybe it'll pay off. I don't know. Those are my choices for the Belmont Stakes. Sierra Leone, Mystic Dad could win, but I'm going to use Seize the Great, Dornoch, and hope for an upset. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.